We're very happy to announce our next act is a wonderful act. I think you all came to see him, right? Of course, you're very much aware that his name is George Williams. Here he comes, the stage, George Williams!
This next bit, gosh, you can't see anything. Right, this next bit does involve a certain amount of audience participation, so I thought I'd kind of kick off with an ooh. So because I'll introduce it in a second, what I need is kind of like an odd from everybody. So can we go like a 1, 2, 3 ooh? So 1, 2, 3 ooh. So what we have here is George's fascinating world of the odd. Ooh. Spot on. Right, what I've got facts, because I'm a teacher, you might realise. Did anybody have a good half term? Did anybody have a half term? Teach. The money's crap, but the holidays are good. So I've got facts in 3 categories. Facts about animals, facts about history, and assorted random shit that I couldn't really fit into anything else. So what I would like is if you could just yell categories at me, and I'll read out facts and talk some nonsense, and then we can all go home. All right? So, would somebody like to yell out a category for a fact?
Geography.
Animals, thank you very much. What we got? The loudest, right, these are all true, these are not off Wikipedia. The loudest animal-made noise, the loudest organically produced noise in the world is made by prawns. It's a thing called a snapping shrimp or a pistol shrimp, and it's like snaps its little fist and makes a popping noise, but they swarm in millions, and the noise is so deafening that it keeps villagers awake, and submarines can hide underneath it because it's like sonar-proof. So the loudest noise in the world is prawns. So you don't have to laugh, you can just sort of beam at me, and that's fine. Beaming is good. It's sort of friendly. You just sort of smile at me gently, and I'll go home a happy man. So, animal history or random shit?
Random shit.
Random shit. Oh yeah. Right. The German word for ambassador is Botschafter. Which kind of makes the Ferrero Rocher commercials look a bit more sinister. Ambassador with these arm-sized dildos, you are really spotting us. Right, animal history or dildo-based fact? Animal.
There wasn't a dildo-based fact.
Alright, okay. Bizarrely enough, they started keeping records on shark attacks on humans in 1580. I don't know why, but they did. And since then, there have been 2,200 recorded shark attacks on people. And to put that in perspective, that's 5% of the number of Americans who were injured by their toilet seats in 1996. And the thing is, the scary thing is that they must have been sufficiently badly injured to actually have to go to hospital for somebody to register that had happened. Right, next one. Animal history or random dildo shit?
Dildo shit.
Dildo shit. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Native Siberians, they're like kind of like Eskimos or Inuits or something. It's like the people that live in Siberia. Apparently, they genuinely believed. I don't know if they still do. They might. I've never met one, but they used to genuinely believe that mammoths were gigantic moles. And all right, I better quote this because it's really good. Oh shit, wrong one. Yeah, they genuinely believe that mammoths are gigantic moles for whom contact with the air is instant death. Because the mammoth fossils were only ever revealed when the permafrost melted and the ice melted, and then they'd see skeletons kind of half poking out the floor, and they imagined it was some kind of enormous tunnelling animal that had actually broken the surface, hit the air and gone, oh fuck! Right, animal history all run, and I'm running out of dildos, so please pick another one.
History.
History. In 1808, in Paris, there was a duel fought between 2 guys. They were both in love with the same woman, so they fought a duel, because obviously that's the only sensible thing to do. So they fought the duel, but because they decided that they were both intelligent men who had elevated minds, they should reflect this in their fight to the death over some random bird. So they fought the duel at 2,000 feet in hot air balloons. And the problem I have with that is, like, hitting a bloke with an old-fashioned gun at 20 paces is probably quite hard, but hitting a hot air balloon is a lot easier. And no one's going to walk away clean because they're both going to hit and then they're both going to sink. I can't really see a good way out for that one. So, right, next one, animal history. Animal. Right, we're getting the hang of this now. Alright. In the 1950s, there was a thing called snail fever or schistosomiasis, and it was really common in China. and it is passed on it's transmitted by snails somehow, and they crawl on you or you eat them or something. And the Communist Party was very worried about it, so what they did was Mao sent out teams of Communist Party members to cull the snails, but they didn't use like insecticide or any kind of like chemical that would make sense. They sent them out with sharpened chopsticks, and they had to stab individual fucking snails. One at a time, they just had to crawl around in the bushes and stab them. Come on, next, let's go. Well, at least Tom's enjoying it. Alright, yeah, I like this one, this is really sweet. The people of Cameroon, apparently, or some tribe within Cameroon, are known as the Mum, M-U-M, they're the Mum people. And the king of Mum always rules jointly with his mother, who is known as the Mum Queen Mum. To be honest, mostly I just like the fact that in Cameroon they don't trust the sons enough to rule without their mum's help. They have to... Next one, let's go. Dildos. I've only got one left after this, so we're going to have to stay away from dildos. Oh yeah, right. You know how it like tells you human beings share like 98.5% of DNA with a chimpanzee or an orangutan or with pick a grey ape and they'll tell you, oh yeah, you share 99% of your DNA with a gorilla, right? Have you heard that one? Have you heard that one?
Yep.
Right, it's worth noting, just to put that in perspective, you also share 35% of your DNA with a leek. Unless you're Welsh, when it's slightly higher. But, no, the vegetable leek, you share 35% of your DNA with a fucking leek. You also know you have 46 chromosomes in 23 pairs. A potato has about 56 chromosomes. You are genetically less complicated than spuds. Next one.
Dildo.
Dildo. It's the last dildo fact. All right. Has anybody ever heard of a dangerous cheese? There's a cheese called Casu Mirza, and it's widely regarded as the most dangerous cheese in the world. It's so dangerous, it's illegal. There is an illegal cheese. They make it in Sardinia. It's pecorino, and they leave it in a cave to go so rotten that it turns into mush and is filled with maggots, and it's not ready until the maggots are dead. And then you eat it, maggots and all. It's illegal to sell, it smells... A mate of mine's boyfriend loves the stuff, and his entire house smells of faintly rotting pecorino because he's now trying to make his own in Newcastle by putting a lump of pecorino in his kitchen cupboard in his flat in Newcastle.
Sounds like Alex Perry's house.
It doesn't really work. It turns out gay men aren't that clean. Next one, have I still got time?
I think maybe we should have a break.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, I've got loads, yeah.
well, what I would suggest maybe is because I literally will listen to this very happily. Maybe have a little break and everyone can eat a drink, and then you can just stand there. That would be my ideal evening.